Well, here we are, you beauty, picking up the crow boy. Let's put this coffee down. How good is this? How good is little shower? Last, well, not the last, but that's silly to say that's the last shower, but potentially the last shower on land. You champion. You beauty. Alright, let me put you up there. Lovely folks up there. Let me get into it because the title's most likely what got your attention, right? Matthew McConaughey said something really important, and I appreciate him for saying that. Plus picking up the van, here we go. So there's a little video out there, and credit to the person who put it up as well, or the people who are putting it up. Unfortunately, I didn't take notice of who did it, okay? Just resurfaced up this morning, picking up the crow, that let's have a chinwag, let's share this out about this video. And what was it that Matthew McConaughey said? So I appreciate it. He's obviously a thinker, okay? He comes across as like the fella that you'd come into a place, like let's say a backyard barbecue, wouldn't know anyone, and he's the type of fella to say, hey, how you doing? And strike conversation with you. I get that sense. You're separating from being an actor just purely as a man, and I definitely say that Matthew McConaughey is a man. So what did he say? Like, enough of the suspense, right? He made a realization that he's responsible for where he directs his life. Okay. And that there's a partnership. Like you said, there's a fusion between like having a trust in something that is of a higher intelligence that is of a conducting and directive nature. Does that make sense? So some people will rely on the word God as if God is an actual identity, instead of it being just a word that is a reference to something that is greater. And to make it easier to compute, it's if you're in a relationship, or even if you're living at home with your parents or whatever, it's basically you are relying on another to iron the creases, let's say, to iron the creases out of your life, to fix your problems, to put you in positions that lead you towards the benefit. And that is the key word, that lead you. And so when Matthew said, Mr McConaughey, let's just show a little bit of respect, shall we? He said, I've got to have my hands on the wheels. I'm the one that's managing the vehicle here. And the way I look at it is this, that you have a destination. You have things that you seek to bring yourself into or closer to, like a destination. So you need to drive your vehicle. You're responsible for driving the vehicle. Okay? And then in between that, from point A, point B, whatever, all those variables I don't control that. I have the ability to make suggestions towards how they are controlled, but ultimately I don't control that at all. It's not, like something else is at play there. Okay, whether I know that or believe that doesn't matter right here. I will say I am willing to accept that being a potential. So you might say, well, that's a belief, that's a faith in, that's a trust, that's a knowing. Well, okay, I cannot say if that is that for a fact, because I don't know. Everything that we know is basically from what we've learned and what we've read. It's all based on words. From what source did those words come from? I don't know. Where is the validation and the confirmation? Oh, just because it's scientific? No. So at the end of the day, it comes down to what I feel is this as a truth. What am I willing to accept being a feasible potential, or feasible? That seems reasonable. That seems valid. Okay, I'm willing to accept that. So, Mr. McConaughey, thank you, sir, because that is exactly how I am, of the feeling, being of the willingness to accept. You're right. As an individual, as our own intellectual self, or being, or spiritual cosmic realm, energy source, like however you are in agreement with it, that being defined. So I'm an energy among energies, under the influence of energies that derives from an energy. Make sense? So yeah, but hands on the wheel. I got the boat down there. Anyone been watching there's little shorts on my Facebook as well. So I'll put the my Facebook profile. You can jump on there. I do what I can to sort of keep things in a congruence. So you go to Facebook, there might be a little variable there, and YouTube, there's a little variable here. Eventually, they will be like posted in a way. Go to YouTube, I do that type of content there. Go to Facebook, there's that. Go to X, there's that. So there will be categories. I'll be steering, but that's it, isn't it? Oh, I wish I had a break. Oh, this type of language, I wish I could just get a break. Or why don't things go my way? Well, I'm getting into a bit of a lecture now, but where is it that you are steering yourself? Because yeah, like Mr. McConaughey says, there's the self-reliance, and that is important, and that's part of Iron Wake Maritime, is coming back to me and the sovereignty, and saying that I need to lead myself. As I say at the end of the videos, my catchphrase or signing off is, you be the best that you can. Like, be good, be great, be brilliant, be the best that you can. Do what you can with what you have to lead you towards the outcomes you seek to achieve, obtain, and or acquire. So lead the self. Along the way, I feel, I'll let you in on a little bit of the cryptic of Iron Wake, that a wake can only be produced through momentum, forward or back. And then that's part of the ripple effect, right? And then there's a response. That response, I'm of the feeling of the willingness to accept and be in agreement of, is steered by something else. Maybe it is a someone. Well, I don't know. I will say, like I said, I'm willing to accept the feasibility that there is something else, that I am, let's say, a vehicle within a vehicle. Like, I don't control the weather. I don't control the sun, the moon, the tides. I don't control that, right? So just like I'm controlling this vehicle to go back down the home waters, is exactly what our life is. And let's say the roads are the pathways to outcomes that derive from our choices. And I did say something along the lines as well. You want to go back, have a look at one of my videos, but if you don't feel like doing that, I'll let you in here. It was a what if that life, right, is us living the experience of a choice within that has already been chosen, but we don't know that. Because there's that type of thinking out there. There's a concept out there as well. Then that could give us the perception of having the free will. Like, I chose to do that, but it was already chosen, and now I'm just living the experience of the choice. The good thing is, in the edit, or however they said, in the fine print, that there is an allowance for the manipulations. Almost like a menu in a restaurant. Food for thought. Yes, a little pun there. Food for thought. So, thanks for tuning in. I understand there's potentially a little bit of clickbait, but that's the truth. Thank you, Mr McConaughey, for saying this. I appreciate you very much, because it has, since I've heard it come across, it's just been a reminder. It's up to me to put my hands on the wheel. It's up to me to steer myself towards the realms, towards the potentials that I feel are the most conducive to my being. So on the Facebook, I'm giving a lot away here, aren't I? On the Facebook was living equals conducting oneself in such a way. I'm paraphrasing it. Forgot what I actually said word for word. But let's say living equals conducting oneself in such a way that your life is an accumulation of beneficial experiences that aid you in the growth of your character and who you are, and nourish your soul. Or in short, do that which feeds the joy in your heart. Or like my dad said, the songs of the universe, son. Like the songs of the universe. Those things that where you are in yourself, away from distractions and other influences, and in that moment you feel like, it goes, that's the songs of the universe finally getting their moment to be heard within you. So thank you to that. So we're warmed up, we're good to go. So bumper punch it. Be good, be great, be brilliant, be the best that you can. Do what you can with what you have. I Wake Maritime is the living example of that. Do what you can with what you have to lead you towards that which you seek to obtain, achieve, and or acquire.